Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Hedera and HBAR, and I figured we would start this video off with a little bit of speculation. So, Boeing is a partnership that we actually don't have any sort of idea what they are doing with Hedera at all. They have been a GC member for a very, very long time. We know in the past that there was a lot of discussions around if NASA was utilizing Hedera Hashgraph technology because there was a lot of things tied to them. In fact, there was a few PDF files that we went over in the past around NASA and Hedera Hashgraph technology. Again, are they utilizing it? We have no idea. Is NASA going to work with Hedera? We have no idea. But a lot of this has been speculation on what Boeing is doing with Hedera. And I question this tweet that we recently just seen from NASA where they're partnering with Boeing to develop technologies for the next generation of single aisle aircraft. We'll collaborate on a full-scale demonstrator by 2030 to help the U.S. achieve net zero carbon emissions from aviation by 2050. And this is right up Hedera's alley. I mean, listen, Hedera has been one of the greenest, if not they are the greenest crypto projects out there, and they have always been focused on carbon neutrality, carbon negative, net zero carbon emissions, carbon credits, so much stuff around green technology and green innovations. And yeah, I mean, this is right up their alley with Boeing as a major partnership here with NASA. Again, do I think that Hedera is going to be utilized here? It's questionable. We don't know. We could speculate all day long. There's been a lot of discussions within this article around what they want to do, but a lot of it is just a partnership with Boeing and NASA to develop this technology to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2050. Very interesting. I think that I'm pretty sure on Hedera's website as well, they want to allow for a lot more carbon neutrality and carbon negativity by 2050 around a lot of these major industries. And I'm pretty sure that this was one of them, but I might be wrong. But nonetheless, I would personally love to see if Hedera has any sort of tie to this. I doubt it, but again, I figured I would speculate a little bit. Let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what you guys maybe you guys come up with something. Comment down below and also hit that like button. But also, over here, we do see Hedera CFO provides her insight at World Economic Forum 2023 on the emergence of a breakthrough technologies panel, highlighting the importance of education in creating a greener future and exploring the intersection of DLT and sustainability. And the funny thing about this is that we recently seen a major study actually on this from UCL. There was a new study, shout out to Crypto Sleeping Giants for this as well, but they found that the entire Hedera network, which currently has the highest running TPS among all crypto networks, operates using less energy than a single house. That's right, less energy than a single house. That's crazy. And only becomes one more efficient than, and only becomes even more efficient the more it's used. Hedera will change the world. We've actually talked about why Hedera will power the world in the past. A little bit too much? It's questionable because, in my opinion, when we look at all of the major companies tied to Hedera, a lot of them blossom down and domino effect into some of the biggest corporations and biggest entities out there, especially around the retail sector. In fact, we've talked about ServiceNow. ServiceNow is powering most of the Fortune 500 companies, 80% of them, especially in terms of their digital workflows. So it's questionable. I mean, Hedera definitely could power a large percentage of everyday life in terms of the business processes, business workflows. There's so much. There really is so much possibilities and endless amounts of value that could be created from Hedera. Also, again, talking more so about carbon emissions, carbon credits, stuff like that. We're seeing a big focus point on this, especially around the token taxonomy framework panel. This is actually featured in ServiceNow, DLT Solutions Engineer from Hedera, Nicola Atico. I hope that I'm saying that name right. GBBC or GBB Council, which we've talked about them. We broke them down in the past. They also have a lot of CBDC discussions with Hedera as well on their website. Again, very, very interesting, and also even the HBAR Foundation VP of Sustainability as well. So, yeah, this is the future of emissions. And, again, I think that Hedera is going to be powering a big aspect around this. And also, by the way, do not write off the carbon emissions, carbon credits aspect and stuff like that. I know that everyone has their own idea around this market, and that's totally fine. I completely understand. I actually welcome all opinions, but in my opinion, I think that this is a big focus point. I think that this should be a focus point, especially around this technology and DLT technology, as it has always been a big focus from the government entities as well. Now, with that in mind, I also do want to talk to you guys about TVL, because TVL is soaring on Hedera. So a big one that we focused on in terms of DeFi on Hedera has always been Sausage Swap. If you guys don't remember, we did an AMA with them back in, I think it might have been August, I'm pretty sure. It was a great time to be a part of the community, and it was a great time for Sausage Swap to go live. And we now see that they reached an all-time high of over $25 million locked in value on Sausage Swap. That's absolutely insane. DeFi on Hedera continues to climb the charts and shows no signs of stopping. And yeah, I have the DeFi TVL chart over here. We've been paying attention to this, watching this closely. For those out there that have not been aware, this has been a big statistic that I've followed for a while, because it really does show a lot of value creation on the network. It shows about how much value is being changed, as well as being locked on Hedera as well. And if we actually look at the 1 month change here, we are seeing some big numbers across the board, most of it coming from Sausage Swap with a whopping 34%. Additional ones is like 28% on Tangent and also 27% on Stater. And we can see the TVL over here, most of it's coming from Stater actually at 72, almost 0.5 million. Sausage Swap is sitting at almost 25 million itself. So very great to see, and you can see it in HBARs as well. Almost 2 billion HBAR locked in value. You'll love to see it. And I think that this is only going to continue to climb and climb and climb. I'm very excited for when we go full bull, because I think that that's when we start to see a lot more adoption of the DeFi protocols on Hedera. Big game changer will be most of the supply being locked away in DeFi. Most of the other chains. So when we go and look at other major chains around this market, we know there's a large amount of TVL locked in on Ethereum. This is what I was trying to talk to you guys a little bit about in terms of like the ETH supply. There's about 30 million ETH locked in value on Ethereum, which is pretty crazy. Then from there, we really kind of look at the other ones like BSC, Tron, Avalanche. Some of these are like the bigger ones out there. We always look at Solana. Solana has still roughly about $500 and almost $17 million in TVL, with Hedera sitting at about like roughly 100 million. That's not bad at all compared to most of the other ones. A big focus point that I always make is like look at Cardano, aka ADA. ADA still remains at the top tier list of crypto projects. They have roughly right now about 275 million ADA locked in value, sitting at about roughly $90.25 million. They have a lot more DeFi offering too. Like imagine what Hedera is going to look like when we have like 20 plus projects on the DeFi offering list, because at the current moment in time, we only have 5 compared to, ADA that has 15, for an example. And again, we always look at even like Ethereum. Ethereum has 638 protocols. So there's a large amount of money being locked on Ethereum due to how many protocols there are. Again, the number of protocols don't really matter in terms of value being locked away, because again, like you could see, some of the larger ones out there do have quite a bit. And in fact, some of these actually have a large amount and they're still not locked in at that massive valuation. Like for example, like Arbitrum has about 1.63 billion. Phantom has almost double what they have in terms of protocols, and they're sitting at like or like almost half of what Arbitrum has locked away. But I'm still very excited about the TVL amount. I think that honestly Hedera is doing very well for themselves. Still very early on in DeFi, by the way. So very, very excited about the future of DeFi on Hedera. But also, what kind of video would this be around HBAR if we were not talking about the updates around the TVL? So we actually do see here from Barbarian, I think 7,176 max TPS is a record-breaking level of throughput on the Hedera network. And yeah, I really do think that this is on the mainnet. Absolutely crazy. Again, a lot of people will ask me, Nick, when is this going to change the value? Guys, It will change the value when we have like over, I would say, 500 million plus transactions per day. We're still very early on in TPS. I know that's still very exciting, but we still need a lot more TPS demand. But this is still very great. I mean, like, trust me, like, this is an incredible statistic because we might need to remove that 10,000 TPS throttle that is limiting Hedera right now. There's only 10,000 max TPS that can be hit on the mainnet. And once we hit that, guess what? We get rid of that throttle and we have almost unlimited TPS demand on Hedera. But yeah, here you guys have the overall statistics here. We can see the total transactions, most of it coming from the HCS, the Hedera Consensus Service. Very incredible to see. And honestly, I will say there's been quite a bit of account growth as well. We started to see a lot more account growth just recently, but the TPS has been the statistic everybody has been paying attention to because honestly, like the TPS has been going absolutely crazy. In just like 1 week, we're at about like roughly 275.8 million transactions on the daily span, about 40, almost 5 million max TPS on the daily, by the way, sitting at about 6,115. This is awesome to see. Like I still know that it's not moving the price all that much, but it is still something that we should be celebrating because this is awesome to see, especially during a bear market. Right now, TPS on the mainnet hitting 1,200 TPS. It's been ranging, but yeah, this is something incredible. I mean, I really cannot tell you guys how happy I am to see Hedera being utilized like this. I could refresh real quick Dragon Glass just so that we have it up in real time on the amount of transactions that are being transacted. So you can see it on the hourly, but I want to go to the weekly. So on the weekly, we are seeing a slight decline. We hit the highest amount on the 14th. So far, we've been kind of seeing a decline, but hey, it's totally okay with me as long as we're still seeing that massive TPS demand, which we still are. I think that as we start to see more and more enterprise grade clientele going fully live on Hedera, it's going to start to see a big shift and change on TPS. I think that that's when we'll start to see a big value creation for Hedera because we've got to remember, you know, like, although these transactions are incredible, you know, it's roughly like 50 million transactions per day is roughly $5,000. For an example, this was about like 4.3K. That's about 4.7K. It's about 4.8, almost 4.9. Again, 4.9. So every single million, you can look at it as like about roughly $100, and every 10 million, it's about $1,000 in terms of revenue creation on the network. So as we really kind of look at this, I look forward to the day where we're sitting at about billions of transactions per day, and that should get you very excited for what's to come because I do believe that that will happen. It's going to take some time, but right now, I mean, we're sitting at about like 2.9 billion transactions. Things are moving pretty quick. I would argue that we're probably going to be at 3 billion transactions if things continue to, you know, be like this by the middle of February. So we are starting to see that big shift. Overall, transactional value, by the way, it's kind of funny. I mean, like, this is 3.5 trillion% it's up. I don't know if that's a glitch or not, but it's probably not. I mean, like, we're starting to see a massive amount of HBAR being demanded in terms of transactional demand. In the 1 week span, we are at 2 billion HBAR being demanded in terms of transactional demand. On the 1 month span, we are sitting at roughly, yeah, almost 10 billion HBAR being demanded in terms of transactional value, which is awesome to see. That's an incredible statistic. Again, is it going to create a massive amount of value? Not necessarily. It just shows how big of a demand there is around the network. So again, we need to start seeing a lot more TPS on the daily, but this is still very, very exciting because we're almost at 10,000% in terms of transactional value in the 1 week. In the 1 year, by the way, I'm pretty sure. So we are still down in the 1 year span, but you could see how big of a game changer this actually is compared to every single month prior to this January. And again, I really want you guys to understand and just realize how big of an opportunity we have in front of us, being able to witness this live. We were able to buy HBAR under 4 cents. I mean, I'm just so excited for the next evolution of this network because, again, we've been talking about HBAR for so long. For those out there that have been with me the entire way through on this channel, we've been talking about HBAR for over 2 years now. And I think that we're really starting to see the fruits of our labor, the fruits of watching this network build out. Again, I always stress these enterprise grade networks, it's not an overnight thing. It takes time. It takes time. There's NDAs in place. There's things that are in place that, we have to wait for. We have to be patient for. And we're starting to see why we need to be patient. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. Us, I hope that you all have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. Nick, peace out, guys.